chair. The chair.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Give it a second. Good evening and welcome to the Bay St. Louis Planning and Zoning Meeting of November 12th, 2025. We ask that you please silence all cell phones and electronics at this time. We're going to begin with a short prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Father in heaven, we invite you to preside over this meeting. Give us unity of spirit even when our opinions differ. Help us to listen politely to other points of view and to remember that we are all a part of the same community. Direct our thoughts, words, decisions, and actions toward the right path in the best interest of our city. We ask this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our first application tonight is Chin. Application for variance to the zoning ordinance submitted by Daniel Chin. The applicant has constructed a 9-foot 6-inch fence. The applicant is requesting a variance of 3 foot 6 inches to the fence height requirement, resulting in a 9-foot 6-inch fence. The property is located at 402 State Street, parcel 149E-0-29-262.000. I'm not going to read the rest. We're just going to let you come up and say your.
And I think I did this in the last few meetings. It seemed to help.
Yeah.
The administration writes a letter of recommendation looking at stuff more black and whites and trying to think of hardship. No hardship present. It was already constructed. The allowable height of a fence is 6 foot. It's 9 foot, 9.5 foot. Administration recommends denying because there's no hardship present. And I think seems like y'all have been pretty consistent over the last several years with, 6 foot's the rule, so we go with that. But ours would be to deny. But if you want to go say just your case.
Yeah, if you state your name and address at the podium and just tell us a little bit more about it.
My name's Daniel Chin, and I just bought this house at 402 State Street in June. And anyhow, the house itself, the decking in the backyard is a little higher than 3 feet. So when you're outside around the deck area, it just towers over that fence. Honestly, I did not know I needed a permit or anything. I hired this guy from New Orleans to build the fence, and he added on to it with the intention of eventually going across and it meeting up with another fence of one of my neighbors, so it would be a seamless fence all the way across. I didn't want to spend the money to do all of it right now, so I just did what I did, and then the next day after it was done, I realized that I had a violation. It's a very expensive fence. It was done out of very expensive lumber. It wasn't just, shingles and stuff like that. It's been stained. It's absolutely beautiful. I feel like it really enhances. I get that it is too high, but when you're in the backyard, it's just sort of weird because there's an empty lot next to me, and it's just strange, not being able to have a fence that high. And like I said, I didn't realize that I was doing anything wrong. The guy building it, he's a company, so I'm surprised he didn't take care of these details. But he was going off of my neighbor's fence that's on on Main Street. Lauren Haydell, her property, and so I don't know. He just made the suggestion. We go all the way across, butt up against the height of her fence, and call it a day. So I was good with that.
Okay, I do have some letters of support to read that we received. To whom it may concern, I am writing as a neighboring property owner to express my full support for the fence installed by Mr. Daniel Chin at 402 State Street. The height and style of the fence have not caused any issues or concerns for me. The fence provides privacy in a clean, well-maintained boundary between the properties. I find that it enhances the appearance of the area and contributes positively to the overall character and enjoyment of the neighborhood. The fence has not obstructed any views or access, nor has it had any negative impact on my property. In fact, I appreciate the quality and care that Mr. Chin put into the project, and I believe the fence is a benefit, not a detriment. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the city allow the fence to remain as constructed. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Lauren Haydell. My name is Bethany Lemansky, and I am a resident at 409 Demolison in Bay St. Louis. I am writing in favor of my neighbor, Danny Chin, keeping his fence at the current height. It's on the side of his house and not in the front. His side fence at this height offers privacy from the pool that gives us as neighbors respect and does not take away from the look of our lovely neighborhood. I'd like to submit a formal letter below voicing my support. Thank you for your consideration. Have a great day. Bethany Lemansky. That's all the letters that I had.
That's all the ones you sent? Was there one?
Those are the only two that I
Yeah.
sent you.
Gotcha.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions from the commissioners?
And I don't think we had anybody sign up.
Yes, another question. Anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against?
It's the side fence that
It's on the
shields
side of
the
my
pool-
house.
Pool,
It does.
okay.
It does.
And there's a 9'6" at 403. There's another fence
Yeah, there's,
that would match that.
So, that's the Haydell's house. This is,
Uh-huh.
that's what he constructed,
Okay.
like along State Street.
Okay.
So, I guess he was gonna go match.
And that's this.
This is probably 8.
Okay.
They're not in commercial though, are they?
No.
Nobody is.
Yeah. Okay. It's a pretty fence.
Yeah, good. I mean, it does look great. We historically I personally never voted for over 6 feet just because of the calamity it has caused in the past where we do one street and someone's like, well, you gave them 8, and then it just continues. But everybody feels differently. Everyone has different opinions about it, even city council, so.
right. I mean, it
It's
really.
not personal, it's just
Right.
what I've seen over the past 7 or 8 years. Whenever there's a fence more than 6 foot, it's caused an issue. So, and I know your neighbors, they're very sweet, and it looks great, and,
And unfortunately, you can't go off of like the contractors,
Yeah.
because especially in New Orleans, like they're coming over here, they don't really know our bylaws over here.
Right.
And then, they just put up whatever you want or what looks good. Because I've been in the same situation, so I understand.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's quality. It was extraordinarily expensive.
Yeah.
I had many options for cedar planks, and we just went for the best possible,
Mhm.
So, anyhow, if it's possible to consider, I can't even imagine demolishing all that work and expense. So, and, yeah, sorry I'm backtracking with this. I really, it's
Well, it is
smaller,
a beautiful fence, and you wouldn't
yeah.
have to demolish all of it.
Mhm.
But, we do. Obviously, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm just saying from my stance, like, it is 6 foot, and so it's 9 by 6 or whatever. So 3 feet or, would have to be removed if it's in bylaws.
I'll make a motion that we recommend that the request is denied.
motion to deny by Mr. Agee. Is there a second?
Aye.
Second by Ms. Brown. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes, but please be present in the next city council meeting. It's going to be next Tuesday, November 18th at 5:30 PM, and it'll be in this room as well. And they'll have the final say on that.
Yeah, and just, I guess this can be a blanket for everybody. Planning and zoning is a recommendation body, so everybody, though this is a public hearing, so if you have something to say about it, say it now, because city council is not the public hearing. This is where all the facts come out. They can come out, but this is the recommendation is going to be to deny or approve whatever. But it's still, all of these cases still go to the Bay St. Louis City Council for their using their recommendation from the public hearing.
Yes, but that does apply to all applications, because I think we've had
Yeah.
trouble the last couple months, people waiting to speak until the city council
Yeah.
meeting when it's not, we're not rehashing the whole meeting at the
Yeah,
city
so if you want to
council
speak
meeting.
about any application, now is your time.
Okay,
That's it?
thank
Yeah.
you, yes, sir. Next application is McGinnis, application for special exception to the zoning ordinance submitted by Sherilyn Alcazar. The applicants are requesting a special exception to allow the construction of an RV park on property zone C3 Highway Commercial. The property is located at 3220 Longfellow Road.
I believe it's 23.
No, I went and looked.
Oh.
You put it on the application,
Okay.
but this is going to be the address.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I stand corrected. I
Yes.
apologize.
Go ahead. You can tell us a little
okay,
bit
let
more
me-
about
Good
the
evening.
project.
Sorry, what is
Yes,
the
sir.
address? 3220?
3220 Longfellow Road.
Yeah, I think like the
Wait,
the
let me
MLS listing was different than what it should. The city council recommend. So this is just for the special exception. It would still have to go back to major site plan review to make sure it meets all the requirements. But this is just to be allowed to use this property as an RV park. The administration's recommendation was to deny the special exception, noting that we don't think this is the most optimal spot for an RV park, being that it's probably, though it's off of Longfellow, but it's kind of landlocked. It's probably not going to have room to put all the amenities of pools and whatever else. It's not necessarily on the water. So last thing we'd want is permit something, and it's not the best necessary corridor, but being that it's a 3-acre site, it would be hard to probably put up everything that needs to be there.
Now, I had requested, I don't mind, I was told should submit something by an engineering firm, but I don't know if I'm gonna even be approved yet. So I used to do architectural engineering, so I just laid something out. My request is, it's a little over 3 acres. I can't use the entire acreage because some of the property does, it's lower, but I would leave it as such to use that as runoff, right, when it does rain. But it is a high piece of property. I've spoken to the neighbors across the street, on Longfellow, that is. And my plan, if approved, would be not something large. I reside in an RV park, and I've unfortunately had to live in some that I care not to have to. My preference would not to have to stay there at all, but I didn't have a choice. There's not a lot of choices out here that are relatively decent, in my opinion. So I'm not looking to do anything major. I'm not looking to shove people in like sardines. I'm doing something, if approved, that I myself would enjoy living there. I think being a transplant, and I love Mississippi, I don't know what took me so long to get here, but we need more places to offer the tourists that are coming down. My realtor said she gets calls all the time asking about places. I know when we have the with the cars, cruising the coast, there's a lot of people looking, and my deal would be to do something for basically the snowbirds that come down. I would be looking to do like 11 spots, 5 pull-throughs, and comfortably, the zoning requirements are for a single without slide outs, 12 foot by 50. I would be doing 30 feet by 50 for the park-ins, that you back them up. And then for the pull-throughs, because a lot of people have these larger, and it's easier to go forward than to back something humongous up. Trust me, I've been there. Anyway, I would be doing 5 of those. And those lots have to be, the zoning requirements are 18 feet, and I would be doing 35 feet by 60 feet for those additional 5. So it would only be 11 lots altogether, and I wouldn't do a pool. I would prefer my outlook and sites for this would be to do an outdoor kitchen, something nice where you could, socialize, do an outdoor kitchen, a nice outdoor kitchen with a hot tub with a minimum seating of 12 to perhaps 17, a laundry, a bathroom, and a dog park. I'm an animal person. I rescue, and people travel with their animals. They're part of the family. So just something that people could really be comfortable and keep the cost low, you know, and not too low, of course. I mean, you want nice people in there, but keep the cost reasonable where people could come and enjoy what the coast has to offer. And that's about it. Now, I will say, if I'm blessed enough and y'all approve me, I have no problem with going to an engineering firm. I do have an ex-neighbor who happens to be a contractor who will give me a very good deal in helping me accomplish my goals, you know? But I think it would enhance it, what I plan to do. It would bring money in, and, you know, I just simply ask that y'all be considerate and please approve me. Because I promise it will be very nice. I do.
For the neighbors.
No, my mother's asking if y'all want to see the plant.
Oh, well,
They probably know already.
we received
Oh.
them, yes.
Okay, here. Would you like to?
Mhm. While she's up here, do, any of the commissioners have any questions or comments? I have a pretty long list of, people signed up to speak.
I don't think it's for this one. I think it's for the next one.
Oh, never mind. Oh, that is for White, okay.
Sure. We'll take a look.
Yeah, I saw the one. Okay, yeah, this is what I got. I saw those minutes too. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application?
Okay.
Can you come up to the podium, because we're being live streamed and that's the only way anybody can hear. And then can you state your name and address for the record too?
Yes, I'm Sheila Sloan. I live in New Orleans. I just drove in, and this is my daughter. So then she would have very nice RV park. I said, can you call it a resort? Because, you know, something nice to attract the cruising the coast. You know, that's right. So they're nice. That's also part-time. So it isn't people living there and trash. So it is just a parking there for a few weeks or so, you know, mainly to attract the cruising the coast.
That kind of
Travel.
clientele.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I think well, I mean, though, you know, that caliber. So it isn't going to be some dinky whatever.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming you've done all the studies that the need is there for this.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
and you said you did speak to the neighbors?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have
Yeah.
any, I didn't receive any letters or anything opposed.
No.
I'm
And it's-
I'm not familiar with that, you know, with
Right,
that
right,
kind of
right,
business, so I
right.
assume you've done all the studies.
Yes, and I've
that
been
there
here
would be a
3
need.
years, and I've resided in RV parks, and as I said, I've resided in some. I actually had a couple of people, because as I said, the contractor still resides in the first RV park where
Yeah.
when I first moved here, and it has gone down so very much. And one of the young men who worked on my car said, "Oh, as soon as you get this, I can move in." And I'm like, no, they won't allow it. it's a nice young man, but I would never in a million years.
So did you purchase this
me.
property with the intention of doing the RV
That's,
park? Or
I'm under
you didn't
contract,
know?
and that's my intent. yes.
Okay, so if you get
Yes.
approval, then you'll finish
Correct.
the purchase
Correct,
and the closing.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
Can I also
Yes.
mention, I've had lots which were my parents the past 50 years. And so I pay taxes, annual taxes
doesn't-
on, them, you
that
know.
doesn't-
She can't put RVs there, it's, you know.
But
it's
she
zoned
cannot.
from-
No, no.
We deal,
we
we
thought,
deal with
you know,
that a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the
Without-
reason.
Right.
But two, I've been a part of you know, y'all.
Reasonably.
Yes,
But-
I went to school in Chattawa, so, you know, so I've been back and forth for years.
Yes. I understand. You're not far away at all.
But yes,
Yeah, so this
Ms.
would
Dozier,
be,
I have
this would be very
done
nice.
studies and, you know, looked
Uh-huh.
around,
Oh,
believe
yes.
me.
Oh,
And either, the ones that they do have, they have a new one right off of 603. The rents are high. I mean, and, you know, I don't know. I'm looking to do something totally different that's not offered. You know, from what I've seen, they don't have anything like I want to put in. As I said, it wouldn't be large because I want to cater to somebody having a really nice place to stay without breaking the bank as well. But, you know, someplace that's worth spending your money on, and it's safe, and it's an enjoyable surrounding. Not where you're like, let me get in my RV and shut the door, you know, because I don't want to be outside. So,
Well,
I just request that y'all
You just,
grant approval if y'all would be so
I mean,
kind.
you did check the place, it has pools and they.
That's the one I'm
a
referring
pond.
to. That's the
Right,
one I'm
right,
referring
right.
to.
And so
But
they
some
get-
of these costs are astronomical in my opinion, you know.
Well,
So I want to keep it.
yes, but the thing
Where
is,
do-
if it's too low, you're.
I am gonna bow
You're
out.
good.
if I may.
Are there any other comments or questions? And if not, I'll entertain a
This would be
motion.
nice. Not,
No one wants to move in?
Okay, I make a motion to deny.
Second.
Motion to deny by Ms. Brown, second by Mr. Romano. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes, and I know we didn't give you a good explanation on that. I think it's just just personally, it's in an awkward area for me, and I personally would like to see something else in the C3 commercial district. We've had a lot of RV parks coming up, but that being said, we are a recommending body. You will go to city council.
Okay.
They
They do have down the block. I know there's a place that it's zoned for 220 RV spots, and I think it's already been approved, or you know, it says it's
there's a lot of RV
been approved.
About to
parks
say,
on
yeah,
the
they're
line. So-
case by case basic,
Right.
and that's one that was kind of set up that way. There's nothing else around that. It's probably a standalone one that would be, but they're also putting a whole bunch of amenities because I think it's 20 acres. So every case is different.
Right. Of course.
There's no
of course.
one size
Of
fits
course.
all.
So, if I may inquire and ask a question, because I was always told the dumbest questions and one never asked. With y'all denying this, is that the end,
No,
or does it?
No,
it
you're gonna
goes
go
on
to-
to the city
No,
council?
So-
it goes before the city council next Tuesday
Correct. which
with the
I-
recommendation of denial, but they can
Right.
overturn and say, we're not going to agree
Right,
with it,
if
and
they
we
choose.
we agree or we support the recommendation from
Correct.
the public hearing.
Correct.
So yes, it
But they
still
go
goes
up, like,
before.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Well, thank you for your time.
Well, thank
Y'all
you.
have a blessed
Tuesday, November 18th, 5:30 PM in this room.
Yes.
So, sorry, I didn't even say that motion passed. So the next, application is Wyatt, application for special exception to the zoning ordinance submitted by Timothy Wyatt. The applicants are requesting a special exception to allow the construction of an RV park on property zone, WF2 Waterfront District. Is Mr. Wyatt here tonight? Yes, sir. Can you come up and state your name and address? Yes, ma'am. State your name and address and tell us a little bit more about the project, if you will.
My name's Margaret Wyatt, and the address is 2078 Lately Lane. So we're wanting to put in a luxury RV park on the zone W2. you know, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for hearing us. We really appreciate that. We bought a house in Bay St. Louis about 4 years ago, and we fell in love with the place. This is our happy place. We love the people here. Everybody's just great. We want to retire here, and this is our retirement plan. This is what's going to get us here full time. We're invested in the community. We're I'd seen online that somebody had maybe you were motioning to deny, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There's
I
a,
was
can
gonna-
you
I'm-
read that letter from the,
So,
well, I didn't know if you wanted to explain first before he reads the letter.
so this one is in the WF Waterfront District.
Mhm.
So the largest issue, the administration recommend denied. Yes, it is on the waterfront and everything else. The largest issue, and I think they have some in the crowd that's going to speak, is accessing this property would be going down Joe's Bayou, which is common for Casino or Hollywood Casino, but then you have to go down two ways to get to it.
He's in the 90s.
One would be, I don't know if it's Lazy River or Common Road. The tax map has it, but it's basically, it's a small road that is not meant to handle like mini cars, much less trailers and RVs. The other way that you would access this is going down Wolf Street off of Blue Meadow Road, which is a complete residential neighborhood, and then you go take on to Run Rabbit Road or something like that. So the issue that the administration have with it is legitimately accessing the site of the, and since it's an RV park, in order to stay in business, like you're gonna have a considerable amount of traffic, hopefully, because I mean it's not a small. I don't even know how many acres it is, but it's a not a small site, so it's not a few. But Blue Meadow Road getting down there is fine. It's once you get to have to, within a half mile of this one, like you're going to go through true either roads not made for it or roads not made for it that are also completely residential.
And they're not really super wide either.
Yeah.
So,
How many acres is it?
10 acres.
Yeah.
How many spaces were you looking?
We're looking to put in about 85 sites. And so that was my point. If that's truly the issue, we will widen the road at our expense. I mean, we can widen the road, we can put speed bumps in, put street lights in. We want to make it better. We're invested. And
Did you bring that up when you put in your application? Just wondering about
about-
y'all's investment to widen the roads or whatever would be needed.
so to
in
be
order.
honest, we didn't know that we needed to put that in. So this is our first kind of doing something
Yeah.
like this. So
Okay,
we didn't
no
really
worries.
know.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, so like I guess where this whole conversation started is this is in our charter uses, which this has this zoning district has a large amount of things that are allowed by right. I think
Right.
probably even condominiums.
Well, I mean, we
Uh,
could have a marina by
No.
right. We could have boat storage by right.
Or
Boats for
there's a
sale,
lot of 'em, but
rental, repair. Boats are bigger than RVs.
But I heard from an engineering firm that says, "Hey, I'm about to design this stuff for some clients in Tennessee," and I said, "Where?" And I'm like, "It's not a." And basically said, "Hey, call your client because they need to get the approval first before they get
Right.
this whole thing designed that for a plan that they can't use at all." So that's why they're here to go ask for the
special
the special exception for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if that's truly the case and it's the roads, we would be glad to widen the roads, do whatever we need to do to make it better. But I do have a couple things as far as RV parks. They create a significant economic impact on a city by providing direct revenue through park fees, creating local jobs, stimulating spending at the local businesses for food, gas, and supplies. It can lead to substantial economic activities, with some areas seeing millions of dollars in visitor spending and the creations of hundreds of jobs. The impact can be particularly strong in cities near popular attractions, which draw a constant flow of visitors. That's exactly what Bay St. Louis does. with everything they're doing. I mean, there's almost a week every month that we're trying to bring visitors in here. There's not enough places for these people to be. I mean, this is a needed amenity, and it's gonna do nothing but bring in revenue for the city. It creates a positive cycle of growth and development. RV parks' economic impact can create a ripple effect throughout the local community, and contribute to the overall prosperity of the area. According to a study conducted by the National Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds, RV park guests generate approximately $10 billion the local community. So that's just gonna bring more money in. So, we would be very grateful. We bought the property with the intentions of doing this. And I mean, I don't remember who we spoke to when we were purchasing the property, but we were kind of led that, yes, you could do this because it was the waterfront too. But at the same time, by right, we could do boat storage, sales, rentals, repair. We could do a retail fish market with 18-wheelers coming in right in there, loading up every day and coming out. So by right, with the W-2, it's zoned for bigger vehicles other than RVs. We would just appreciate if you would consider it.
Yes, thank you. And do y'all have any questions for her? Because I've got a list of people signed up to speak. And I'll let you come up at the end if they bring up any points. I don't know if you've already discussed with the neighbors or not. Andy Idem, 26 Wolf Street.
Thank you for letting me speak. I've been coming to Bay St. Louis basically all my life. I started with my grandfather coming down here, being drug out to Chandelier and fishing. And when I got where I could retire, or semi-retire, I got just a little bit left. I'm living here now, but I work a little bit in Hattiesburg. When I got to where I could retire, I wanted to get away from the traffic. I wanted to get away from the people. I wanted to get away from all the problems. I looked for 6 years. I started at the old Igloo Beer Joint. Every time there was a high tide, let's see what the houses look like. We were going to rehab one. I'm a contractor. Could never find anything. We made our way all the way up to Wolf Street. When I got to Wolf Street, I found a good piece of property. Turned out it was a man that I fished with. I had Camp La France. He said, Andy, I'm not going to be able to build. I'll sell it to you. I said, I'll give you the money for it. You know, we spent 2 years getting the project done like it should be done, getting all the engineering, going through the city with all the illustrious paperwork that we had to do on that and getting it done. And we moved to Wolf Street. We have enough problems on Wolf Street with cruising the coast with people coming from out of town that think they can run 90 miles an hour down the road. I had to walk out in the street and physically stop a man. I said, you know, these are all retired people. We got dogs, grandkids. You'll probably get shot for running over one of the dogs first, you know. But we don't need that. Y'all aren't quite as old as most of us that live on Wolf Street. I don't think y'all would want this traffic coming up and down your street day and night. RV campers, first of all, you don't have to have a commercial driver's license, to my knowledge, to drive an RV. So you got a bunch of old men or a bunch of young men that have never driven a big vehicle, that have never bothered. I run into them all the time at the boat launch. They can't back their boat down. I go launch it for them. These are the people that are going to be coming down a 14-foot wide street. I've got pictures where where I measured it. I can show you the picture. 14 feet. Up at the front, on the left-hand side, when you're turning right onto Wolf Street, you've got a telephone pole. On the right, you've got a large live oak tree. One of them's going to have to go. They'll either go when you're getting it ready, or they'll go when somebody runs into it with their camper. One of the two. I would say it's going to be the power line because they'll be making that right-hand turn, and they're going to forget that trailer drags back behind them, and there's the power line. There we're going to be out of power for however long. We're retired because we want to enjoy the rest of our life, however long that may be. My neighbor that lives on my right, Tom Ryan, just passed away last week. It's where he wanted to be. I had to speak up for him every time the Cruising the Coast comes up and down the road because they couldn't even back out of their driveway. That was just from Cruising the Coast. These RVs, when they come in, they're coming. They can't drive. They don't have to have a license to drive. They don't have to have any special training to drive. Nothing. I'm not against these people doing what they want to do, but I am against, and everybody else is against, coming down our road. We are a residential neighborhood. That's what we are. We're not for traffic 24/7 to be coming up and down the road. These people are going to come in. They're down here for a holiday. They're down here to spend their time. They're probably going to be drinking. When they drink and come by my place and have to pull off the road because two Volkswagens can't pass on that road, I don't want the road widened. If the road is widened, my God, it'll be the Indianapolis Speedway down through there. You know, we don't need that. It's a nice, quiet road. Fiber's a nice, quiet road. Harrison's a nice, quiet road. It's what it was designed for. It was not designed for a camper. You know, we don't want campers in there. I wasn't allowed when I built. I had a nice camper that I asked permission to bring it in to have just a job shack. Nope, you can't bring it. Okay, I'll sit out here in the heat. You know, I did what I had to do. If the people want to do that, that's fine. Find another way other than Wolf Street. We don't want it. You know, I understand them wanting to move to Bay St. Louis. I did. I moved. I love it. I love it. There's nowhere else I would rather be. I told my wife the other day, I said, hey, I don't want to be buried back in Hattiesburg. I guess we need to find a spot down here that we like because, you know, that may happen. But
Thank you.
I love this place.
Point's been well taken.
It is a beautiful place. It's beautiful people, and I want it to stay that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andy.
you.
And anybody who, you don't have to come up to speak, and come up and just say ditto if you need to, just
state
for
your
the
na-
sake of time, but state your name and address, and you can say ditto, or if your point's already been made, you know, we don't have to repeat if you don't feel like coming back up to speak again. Okay, and I've got Roger Erickson, 86 Wolf Street.
I have, my name's Roger Erickson, 86 Wolf Street. I've lived at 86 Wolf Street for 45 years. In 1993, Bay St. Louis issued a permit to Casino Magic. One of the stipulations at issuing that permit was to have an access road from Highway 90 to the casino. For some reason, it never happened. And the reason they wanted that access road is Blue Meadow was considered a residential road. They didn't want all the traffic on it, especially because the high school, there's a high school there. So they don't want all the traffic running down Blue Meadow Road. In 1994, when the casino got built, I risked my life every day driving home from people pulling out Casino Magic and not stopping at the stop sign. It's a quiet neighborhood, and like I said, I'm dittoing what he was talking about. But just for those points, Blue Meadow's not a road that you want to put trailers and big rigs on, especially in front of the high school and adding more traffic to it. And past the high school, there's so many curves on Blue Meadow. It's a residential road. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. Brian Hadaway, 94 Wolf Street.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Hadaway, and I moved here about 5 years ago. This is my retirement plan. I'm not completely retired yet, but very close. And I agree with everything they said. I mean, this is just a small street. We all have to pull into someone else's property to get by. So it's way too narrow, but it's also very quiet. And coming into this county, this official retirement community, which I loved. Of course, no one's giving me an explanation what that actually means. Yeah, okay.
Take less of it.
Yeah.
But this is my retirement plan, and having a commercial properties right next to me is not my retirement plan. I'm also worried about if the emergency vehicle, if one of us have a heart attack and we need to get out, there is no, if a RV is coming down, there's no getting past.
Right.
So you wait. And that is a concern. But this thing, it's changing the zoning from residential to commercial. It's not right.
Well, it's
All right, just to note
It's
that-
not residential right now.
It's not residential, it's waterfront too.
Waterfront, but it's
This is not allowed use by special exception currently.
Mhm.
It's so like single family houses are allowed on this property by right. So it's duplexes to count, but this is one of the ones that's allowed by special exception. So as the applicants chose, they're going through the proper channel trying to gain that right, that use allowed by, not by right, but in this case, for their use.
Right.
So no zone would be changed.
Yeah,
No
but there
zone.
are some commercial applications that would be allowed by right
Yeah.
on that property, right? Just so you're aware.
Yeah.
But the noise and just to be a danger for all of us, it's like the street is just way too narrow for commercial or for people to go in and out. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Hadaway. Ms. Deborah Hadaway, you want to come speak?
Thank you.
She is also 94 Wolf Street.
Deborah Hadaway, 94 Wolf Street. I'd like to ditto all the comments made before. And I'd like to add that in most of the street, it's ditches on both sides. So in order for two vehicles to pass, you have to pull in someone's driveway and to give someone the right of way to continue forward. So it's just not conducive for an 80-unit RV park. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hadaway. Robert Cook, 2062 Lazy Lane, or Mick Cook? Okay.
Robert Cook, we own the property next door on Lazy Lane, 2062. We're not completely opposed to this. We're here to see what it's all about and understand more about what's going on, but I really don't have a big problem with an RV park coming in. As long as it's nice, like they're saying, and it does, bring, there are definitely some improvements that we could get for that road, that would be beneficial to us too. So that's.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. George, I don't know. Roar, 92 Wolf Street.
My name's George Rohr. I'm representing 92 Wolf Street. I also own another property on Joe's Body Road at the corner where the flashlight is. My biggest thing is, it happened actually today. I go down the road, they get the truck stuck. They're building a new house. Great. Well, this truck, they try to turn around. So I had to walk home. So there's nowhere to turn an RV if they pass the turn up. And then if you go on Joe's Bayou Road, the way that the street is, so you have Joe's Bayou, then Lazy Oak runs on an angle and then goes in. So there's no way to make that full left turn. And I did.
Thank you. Bobby Lieber, 54 Wolf Street.
Bobby Lieber, 54 Wolf. I just bought into the property about a year ago. Absolutely love it here. I want to retire here, but something like that comes up, I'll consider moving out or sell or rent my place out, to be honest. That's not what I signed up for. I'm here every weekend. I haven't missed a weekend, and I plan to retire. I RV'd. I love RVing. It's great. When I do it, you're basically out, remote places. And when we go RVing, we're partying. We got the fire going and the music playing, and so there's a good deal of that, and some drinking going on. And I know people like to explore, so they're going to be walking around and exploring. So they're going to be probably checking out our property, walking up and down the road, and they're going to be missing those turns, because I've missed them before with my 30-foot trailer, and it can be trouble. So I have trouble. I have boats. And in order for me to turn around on Wolf Street, I've got to use my property. I barely can do it. Barely. I'm hanging in the ditch, turning around. But I have to use my property. So if we have people coming in, how many y'all have? 5, loading up, there's going to be some mistakes. And they're going to be coming down a dead-end street with no turnaround. And we're going to have a lot of utilities being run over, because we got utilities right there in front of our property. There's going to be a lot of ruts and people, trespassing on our property. It's going to be something I'm not going to be really happy with, and I'm probably not going to, I would probably consider, selling or moving or just renting my property out, and that's, and look, I have, my girlfriend's here, and she does an Airbnb, and it's not renting that much right now. It's not like we need a ton more places for people, to rent out. She's going to be renting full time. She's switching over from Airbnb to just renting it out full time, because there's not a lot of people coming, that there's so many other places to rent right now in Bay St. Louis. It's a great place. I understand it, but it's not like we need 85 more places right here in a residential neighborhood renting it out. So it's going to be a dangerous thing with them coming in. Even if they widen the street, they'd have to widen the street all the way down to the end and then create a turnaround at the end of Wolf Street, because I guarantee you're going to have people mess up, and look, and they got golf carts too that are going down that road. They have a turn on Blue Meadow that is a blind turn, and if you have a bunch of wide RVs coming down there, you're going to have some accidents. And it's going to change the whole dynamic of that area. So I just think it's a noise issue. Down travels, there's going to be people partying. It could be a little, potential, people trespassing on properties that they don't need to be trespassing on, because they're going to be explore the area. Those, RV parks need to be separated and remote. They're great, to explore the nature and all that kind of stuff. But this is not remote enough, in my opinion, and it's going to damage all that whole neighborhood. Our neighborhood is an old neighborhood. My pool was pre-Katrina, but I mean, it's probably, a really old neighborhood that got rebuilt. And like Roger's been here for a long time and retired and enjoyed it. And I want to do the same thing. I want to retire here and enjoy this, this area. It's beautiful, and I just think that it's the wrong thing. I'm not against RV parks in general, because again, I think, it's a good thing to have, but it's just not the right place. And I just think it'll mess up the area, that particular spot. They'll find another place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lieber. Miss Anita Warner, 417 Third Street.
Good evening. I have several friends who live on Wolf Street, and I am here to tell you that when you try and make the right turn, if there's somebody else coming, it's extremely difficult. As they said, there's ditches on both sides. He measured it at 14, I measured it at 13.6. So it is a very narrow, and we haven't even talked about trying to make the right turn onto, quote, Common Street, which has gates that are locked half the time. If you've got an RV and you manage to get onto Wolf Street, good luck on trying to make a hard right turn onto what is Common Street, which is the back way into the casino. Right. I'm glad these folks bought the property. They've got a really nice plan, but I can't tell y'all how many times we've heard, well, we're going to bring all this great tax revenue and we're going to do all this. Bear in mind, we already have 500 VRBO or Airbnbs, whatever you want to call them, in this city. How many RV parks do we already have? There's one on Longfellow already. We don't need another 85, and we really don't need another 85 that wants to use residential streets that are very narrow so that they can get access to this property. They need to find another way. Y'all need to say thank you very much, but no.
Thank you, Miss Anita. Anyone else in the audience that would like to speak? I'm going to let Ms. White come back up here if she wants to address anything that was said, and then I'll entertain a motion.
Thank you for that. I wrote a bunch of notes. Sorry, I'll try to get them out real quick. So we do have the possibility of potentially going on the other end of Common Street. So there's, or where we're at, there's 2 ways to get through there. Either way, that Common Street is going to have to be widened. Either way, we put the RV side in, or we by right put a marina in, and there's going to be big boats coming through there. Either way, it's going to have to be widened up. So, I mean, if it's the road issue, we could widen it. There's a way on Common Street at the culvert turning in off of Wolf. You could put a bigger culvert in there and widen it up. As far as the commercial license, you don't have to have a commercial license either for boat trailers. And we're a lot in common. We want to be here. This is our home. You know, we love it here. A lot of the drivers that drive RVs, they go all over the U.S., so they're not just coming here. It's not, you know, just their first time driving an RV and coming here. There's 4 houses on Wolf Street. It's 700 feet from when you turn into Wolf Street to where you would turn on Common to get to where we're at. There's 4 houses on that that you would go by. And it's already zoned, you know, it's already zoned for somewhat commercial things. And it sounds to me like there's already issues with the road being so narrow. So, I mean, that might be something somebody else might want to look at, you know, even other than that, if you're having to pull over because another car is coming down the road. And then I also have a question. What is the distance of relevance for the landowners? Because our property doesn't border any of the property on Wolf.
So, public notice wise for this, like I don't know if y'all got it, but the cards that got sent out, it's 300 feet from everywhere that it borders. But public notice also was given that you have to publish it in the local paper.
Right.
So and then we publish on the website. So my assumption is many people saw it in the, most people that get public notice.
See it there. in the
Yes,
paper.
ma'am.
So, and I understand that. The notice of the hearing is mailed or hand delivered to all adjacent property owners. As far as if you look at the map, there's 4 property owners that are adjacent to our property and none of which are on Wolf. There's a huge lot in between us and Wolf that the casino owns.
Did you not want anybody who lives near you not to know?
Well, no, I mean, I was just curious why, or how, because we don't border any
Well,
of
it's,
those
it's
areas.
it's the radius that Jeremy was discussing.
Well,
in
it's
there.
it's 700 feet.
Well,
from
and then I get,
Wolf.
but then the way that public notices happen, and it's required by law, is
Right.
not the mailing out's the most, but the actual publication, either we do it on our website, but also the newspaper. That is what the circulation of that is in the
I
thousands.
was just
So,
curious.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's a common question.
Yes. If there's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, so motion to deny.
Second.
A motion by Ms. Brown, second by Mr. Romano. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes, but please be present at the city council meeting. It'll be in this room November 18th, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m.
Is there an option to do it a different day, or is that the only thing that it could be?
We'll email. Send me an email. We might be able to move it to.
They might be able to table it at that meeting.
Yeah, it's not necessarily. It's not necessarily. It will get tabled. That's customary where it gets told. But let me go and see if it's a possibility.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our last application is McPhail application for major site plan review for a condo development submitted by Jim McPhail. The property is located at 209 and 291 Ullman Avenue, and this is just so.
This is a major site plan review. I would say 2 or 3 years ago, this same site came up. It was gonna, the existing building, which is the Ingram building, not the large school, this one that's a smaller school. It was gonna be a 2-story, 16-unit condo development. This is not just gonna be using the same footprint of the building is currently, and it's gonna be retrofitted into an 8-unit condominium complex. For major site plan, the one thing that's on y'all's, which I did not spoke with their the design team, he does have, it's going to be 20 by 10 parking spots. In the back, they have 10 by 18. That's just, we already spoke to the, I spoke to them, but they're going to have to update the site plan. But fire department looked at it, has enough turning radius, and then the actual construction design is going to be done once it gets approved. But they only needed to have 18 parking spots, and they have 33.
Mm-hmm.
So more than adequate amount of parking, landscaping wise, it's fine. So gets more excited that something's going to be done with this building.
Yes. Well, I didn't see anything else other than the parking. It looks really good. I'll entertain a motion if there's no
I'll move it.
questions.
To approve.
Motion by Mr. Ag, second by Mr. Romano. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Of October 15th, 2025.
Second. I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Romano. I thought it in. I could have. I could second it. I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Motion to adjourn this meeting of today's date.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to adjourn today's meeting, November 12th, 2025. Motion by Mr. Romano. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Brown. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.